Today I'm going to be showing you how to install your well light from a complete beginner's perspective. This is actually my first time doing it, but I was doing a little bit of research. I will be using this Mallory light that the company gave me in exchange for a review. I figured instead of just doing a boring review where I talk about its features and other stuff, which I'll still do, I'll go ahead and install it and show it in my beautiful landscape area. The first thing you're going to do when you have your Mallory light is you're going to want to unscrew this so you can include the light that's separate. I guess I shouldn't say separate, I should say not installed currently in the unit. You're just going to need a flathead. I just got my little guy right over here, but once you get it, this will come right off, and then there's an additional gasket right here that separates it. That's going to be the recess that you're going to put your light into. You got two prongs, and I don't think it matters which one you, or which orientation you put it. Although I might be wrong, so shame on me if I am, but I had good luck with it so far. I'm going to put them in there, and these little spring clips are going to keep them in there. When you get in there first, you have a little bit of play, so if it's a little bit off to the side like that, this actually has mobility, so you can have it, if you really wanted to, maybe the light coming out in a different direction, but I'm going to keep this going up and down. When you put your rubber gasket back on, you're going to want to make sure that this part is going into the recess right here, so that it's flat like that way. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple of screws in there loosely just to keep it on there so I can test it out. At the end of this light, I'm going to end up with a white and a black wire, and I'll show you in a second how to put those in there. I've got this Interlock power landscaping unit, which can handle up to, what is it, 60? Yeah, this thing can handle up to 60 watts, and this light is only going to take 5 from there, so it's actually overkill for the purpose of this one light. Now this transformer only has two different areas, one for positive, one for negative. I'm going to take that white one and put it on in the negative, and the black's going to go in the positive. Putting the wire in is easy enough. You just have to unscrew that a little bit so you fit the wire in between those two plates there, and then tighten it down. When you first see the ends of these, they're going to have these little caps to protect them, and they're going to be a little bit flayed out there, but you just twist them up just like I did with this one and make them a little more straight. And then I'm just going to slip it in between that plate. There we go. We'll do it without trying to splay it even further. Tighten it down so it's tight, and repeat for the other side. Now obviously this light isn't going, it's going to be a little bit further away from this box, but I'm just doing this for testing purposes because I want to make sure that this thing lights up before I actually use the wire to lengthen it. This transformer is supposed to be for outdoor use only, but I'm not worried about my house burning down just by doing a quick test. So now that I see the lights on there, I'm going to go ahead and screw in the rest of these. Next thing I'm going to do is decide where I'm going to put this, just from a little bit of a distance here. We don't get enough lighting in this area, and I got a plug handy. So I'm thinking I'm going to put this right over here. Never mind all this trash. I'll work around it for now. Okay, I lied. I don't want that spot anymore. I'm thinking I'm going to put it over here by this pole, because if I put it too close to the door, then it's probably going to be blinding if you walk right out. But if I keep it over here, it's going to light this place up more. And with the power of movie magic, the trash is slightly off to the side of the camera view. There we go. So I know I'm going to want it like that, except for buried in the ground. So I'm going to start by making a little hole for that to sit in. And after 100,000 rocks later, I realize this is not my favorite spot, but I'm going to finish off strong. I just need to get a little bit deeper. But before I go there, obviously this isn't going to make it all the way to where the transformer is going to be. So I'm going to need to extend this. So I'm going to use this low voltage landscape wire to connect from the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this outside first, and then I'm going to attach this to this, and then I'm going to string it out to see how much room I need. I got my wire clippers right here, and you see that there is kind of a scissor part here. I'm going to use that to split the wire, and you only have to have a little bit to be able to break it up. I'm going to have to make a hole out here in the cinder block, but I was just roughing it out about how I want it to be on the wall, and I made a little mark, so now I just have to use my drill. When you're drilling into things like cinder block, you're going to want to use the hammer mode if you have it, because it vibrates and helps it get through easy. I just put a screw there. I don't need anything super crazy. Just anything for this to fit back on there so it's secured. Have it plugged in. I can see that I got an indicator light, so this outlet works fine. So now I just need to get some of that wire going from here down to there. Probably won't be able to do this with one hand, but I'm just going to strip this from about here down. And like I said from the other one, I'm going to go twist these up and put them in the back of the unit. So I stripped a little bit more than I probably should have, but as long as these don't touch, there shouldn't be a problem. There is this is just straight wire, so there's no direct polarity, so I'm just going to keep track of where my negative, where my positive are, and attach them to my other unit. So I've got my bundle of wire right here coming down from that unit, and I'm going to leave a little bit of extra slack down there, and all I'm going to do is, you'll see, I'll tuck it under this unit where I'm going to actually have it buried. One good way to know with this wire is one side is going to have writing, the other side won't. So up here by my unit, I know that the negative's over there on the left side, so if I follow it down, that's on the side without the writing. Can't even see with that camera, but that's how I keep track of it. But since I don't want to get messed up and have to redo it, it might not even matter since it's only a low voltage, I'm going to go ahead and tape the side I know is going to go to the white. That way I'm just going to know right off the bat, because I know that on there, the white's going to want to go with the white, because remember, that other one's labeled, so this will be a lot easier. Before I do anything too crazy, I went ahead and just did a quick and dirty of these, making sure they don't touch, but obviously be careful when you do this. And I'm verifying that the light is in fact working just fine, so now I can proceed to put this where it's going to go, because you're going to be like, well, you don't want this silly cord just being on top, right? So let me show you how I deal with that. Before I bury the cord and show you how I deal with that, these ones are used, I forget what the heck these things are called, but these are used to combine the wires together. Just like this, you kind of twine them in together like that, and then I've already done it with this other side. You're just going to use this as a cap. You're going to put it all over it, so this entire part, even up to this insulated part's inside. This way, it's going to take an awful lot of wrestling around before these become exposed to anything, and it'll protect it from the elements. So this tool right here is a lawn edger, and this area right here is meant to help you get trenches down there. It'd be hard for me to do this with one hand, but put your foot on there and push down. There's pretty pretty dry ground right now, but the idea is that you make these small narrow slits, I'll show you in a second, where you can just kind of tuck in your wire. So that's what we're going to do over here. The rocks might be a problem, but we'll find out. So I dug it so it's about a suitable height from here. So I'm just going to take a look at this coming out, and I got a bunch of rocks right here, so it's going to be a little bit of a hassle. Let's clear some out, but the goal is to keep it coming neat down the wall, maybe over here out of the rocky area, and I'll make a small trench going there so we can hide this silly cord. I kind of wrap this around this unit because this is going to be buried under there, and if you're wondering where your connectors are later on, well, if they're right under the light, then it won't be a hard time. I'll give this one more check to make sure nothing's funny, because it'd be awfully silly for me to bury this if it didn't work. But I plug it in and it is getting light still, so I'm going to go ahead and find a management for this cord here. So I kind of put it in the ground like that. I can already tell it's going to be real farts because this tool's barely doing anything with the all these stones. But I mean, it is helping a little bit more. So I'm just going to have to continue that process until it's up to the wall. So I didn't go too deep. I had a whole bunch of rocks, and I think it's fine. You don't need to put it down super, super low. I mean, you want to just give the illusion that light's coming out of the earth magically and that there is no such thing as cords. People are mystified. You break the illusion when you see cords. So where's that cord going down? Into the ground, just disappears, and then voila, magic light, right? At least that's how I imagine it. So I've got a little bit of slack right here. I'm going to go ahead and just tuck that in there, and I want to probably secure this to the wall. Maybe not today, but eventually. And so I'm just going to kind of tuck this in. So that's pretty cool. Got a little bit of extra slack right there that might be able to deal with, but I could just raise it up and maybe tuck it behind the machine, honestly. Honestly, I wouldn't even deal with that right now. Okay, we're in nightfall, and this is as dark as it gets. this is what we were looking at. So this is actually pretty cool. I'm glad that I didn't put it super close to the door, or else that would have been blinding. But as soon as I walked out here for the first time, because I put that transformer on auto mode, and first thing I noticed is like, man, it's a lot brighter in here. You can't really see on the camera going this way, but I can actually navigate around this place now, so I am super glad that I was able to get this and install it over in this area. In case you want to get any of the things that I showed in this video, anywhere from the tools to the wire to the transformer to the lights, I'm going to have them in the description. And if you found any of this informational, interesting, or otherwise, then, perhaps you'll consider subscribing and liking the video. Until next time.